All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can enjoy this content. But the favored way by myself is the blog. And also, it was Friday. There was not a lot of news. So I have some other stuff that I'm putting here just to fill the time. It doesn't make sense to really just talk about one or two articles. Plus, one of these is really creepy, but we need to know about this. I don't like to see these things, but we need to know about them. Then the other is this tokenized thing on BitGet that is in Iraq's news. It actually is in Iraq's news. I know there's people who think the citizens don't know anything about crypto, but remember, they're young. They're very young society, and they're being pushed to do everything digital. So it doesn't take long before they're on the cryptocurrencies, right? So, and that'll be at the bottom. Okay, but let me finish all the other little stuff. Um, so wherever you are enjoying this content, look for to get to the blog. There we go. To get to the blog, because it's a long name and it's too much to type in, I put a link. Wherever you are, look for more info, intro, description, something of that nature. Click on that. You might have to click on it twice. Another box opens that has a link directly to the blog. The free blog, where you don't have to put your email address in and I don't sell you anything. All right. So I said it's Friday. It was it's usually slow on Fridays, but it was really, really slow today because it was another one of those holidays where the prophet, I don't know which one, what they say, peace be upon him and all that stuff, and they go to the shrine, but it's on a smaller scale. And Sadar goes to the place that they go to commemorate. And it's so funny. Well, maybe that's not the best word to use. It's ironic. So they're supposed to go here to do their rituals and everything for this holiday, right? And then Sadar comes and they just forget why they're there and they rush his car and they rush him and all the cell phones are out and they're taking pictures of him and they're trying to get selfies with him and then he gets mad. He gets mad at them because he's like, no, it's not, he doesn't want the attention on himself because they're supposed to be there to worship or whatever they call the word. Um, the reason that they're there for, which isn't him, right? And it happens every year. Every time this comes around, it happens. But yeah, so they have that. So not the whole country doesn't participate in this one, but it's enough that it slows everything down even more. Okay? So that's why you're going to get the other stuff that you're going to get. But I think this was a pretty neat article. It is, like I said, Friday, August 22nd, and this should upload for Friday 22nd. And thank you. And don't forget, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And if you missed yesterday's edition, fear not. If you watch this video all the way through, at the end, a little square pops up so you can watch the last one. All right. So this is the title that I made the blog. Dinar confidence rising thanks to strong central bank reserves. So, but the original title for the article is, I don't know how to say that name, but Mohammed Saleh, right? The Prime Minister's financial advisor, he came out on TV and said Iraq's foreign reserves provide exceptional stability for the national currency. And why don't they just say Iraqi dinar? I don't get it. Because this is an article in Iraq. We just happen to be reading it. But so why can't they just say Iraqi dinar? I don't know. But anyway, so again, he confirmed on Friday the Central Bank of Iraq enjoys substantial foreign reserves that represent the primary backing for the national currency. These reserves are managed within a diversified foreign currency investment portfolio in accordance with the highest standards of global banking efficiency and professionalism. Now, can you see those red words there? So we're going to get there. So he added in an interview with the news that the ability of these reserves to meet external demand. Who is demanding the currency externally? I thought that was interesting. And I think they have said that before, but for some reason it just kind of stuck out more in this article. So, the ability of these reserves to meet external demand for foreign currency for the purposes of financing import trade is one of the primary indicators of their efficiency, noting that the global standard for financing trade from central bank reserves is 3 months coverage, while Iraq has an exceptional capacity of up to 12 months. Now, there was a time when they had 18 months, but 12 months is still well above the global, requirement. So, just a little bit more. He pointed out this level reflects a high degree of stability in the foreign exchange market, despite the temporary pressures on the current account of the balance of payments due to the relative contraction in oil prices. Noting that, I just remembered something. Oh well. Okay, let me keep going. Noting that oil revenues continue to constitute the main pillar in the formation and acclimation of these strategic reserves. Saleh explained, the central bank largely controls the foreign exchange market by imposing an official, it should say fake, manipulated, but it says official exchange rate of 1320 dinars per dollar for the dinar. Now he says it. This has contributed to keeping the annual inflation rate below 3%, which falls within what is known as the normal range for the general price level or the natural price breakup in the country. He emphasized that this represents the highest levels of stability targeted by Iraqi monetary policy. See, he can say Iraqi monetary policy, but he won't say Iraqi dinar. That's strange to me. Anyway, so that also goes in line with, so the other day there was an article talking about devaluing, and they did have a purpose. They had a purpose for devaluing. Things were getting out of control. Inflation was getting out of control. So devaluing the currency somehow brought the inflation down. It helped Iraq pay their debts down. And one other thing. But, and I apologize, someone left a comment. Very detailed, very thought out. A two-parter. So I replied and then I hit something that made it disappear. So I did reply, but so YouTube, they'll send me an email like 3 days from now saying, hey, you didn't finish this. Do you want to finish this? And then I'll update it. But one part of the question was, why do I feel so different about why do I think they're closer? Because everything is totally different. They're so transparent, telling us about the format for doing trade in the dollar. One thing they said they were going to get rid of the auction, and they did get rid of it. That auction window had been there for 20 years, and they got rid of that. That's different. That was a year ago. they are openly telling us, the ones who are unhappy with um, that we control their oil money, stories like that, or not stories, but articles like that, they weren't out so boldly before, and now they are. Every day they're talking to them about the exchange rate, whether it's devaluing or appreciating the value. It's conversation that they're having. And while this has happened before, it's all lining up for them to move forward, except for all the conflict stuff that's going on around them. I was watching a lady that I like to watch on YouTube, and even she said something is going on between the neighbor and Ice Cream Land, and she said, I think Ice Cream Land is about to drop kablooies on the neighbor again. So see, but she's like an independent, and she's really into other um, countries' news, like global news. So, but yeah, this was the first time she mentioned it tonight. So it's getting out there. Hopefully it won't happen, but all that is out there. All right. So Syria intends to remove 2 zeros and Assad's image from its currency. I don't know why that image is not there. Something, I don't know, whatever. But it's not. It was a stock photo anyway. I've seen it, but it's a man sitting at a table with stacks and stacks of currency there. But yeah, so now they're talking about removing 2 zeros from its currency in an attempt to restore confidence in the lira. So I guess they're going to go with the Syrian lira. See, because here it says pound. So I don't know how close they are to making these decisions, but I know they are fast tracking Syria back they're already connected with SWIFT, I think, and they're even fast tracking them with some of their oil pipelines. So yeah, but here again, this was in Iraq's news, so it's citizen education in a roundabout kind of way, right? Look, we're not the only ones getting ready to remove zeros. They're going to remove zeros. Now, of course, this is talking about the currency. I don't even know what their rate is. I know it dropped bigly. I can't think of another word. But it was devastated by, what happened. So it probably is down. I don't know. But anyway, so I just wanted to put that in there. Okay, so this is remember I was like, something's going on in Kurdistan, but I don't know what it is. And I was gonna try to look into it more in the weekend, but it's already over. But it was very serious because look, U.S. State Department comments on Suleimania events. So I do know it has to do with they arrested these leaders of the People's Front Party. This guy here, I don't know how you say that name, and his brothers. So the people went out in the streets, the people who support them went out in the streets, and there were other people that they had arrest warrants for. But apparently it got rowdy. A couple of people are no longer in the land of the living. Yeah, it was violent. And so we had to make a statement, and the prime minister of the Kurdistan region, which I think is the son Barzani, he came out and he made a statement. The president of Iraq, who's a Kurd, he made one of those statements that they make when they have terrible events like that. But so they're saying that it's over, but I don't know if they released those people or if they're just like, enough is enough, if we, I want to say, if we surprise the demonstrators in a way that is not good for them, okay, that's the only way I can think to say that word that I don't want to say. Maybe they'll disperse and they'll leave, right? So I'm not even sure if that's what happened, but even Kuba Talabani, he came out and said the martyr's blood will not go unanswered, um, and the bald-headed one, what is Pavel or Babel Talabani, he even made a statement. So yeah, whatever happened was very serious. It seems to be over. They said that Friday night traffic was coming back in, even from Baghdad, regularly. So for now, it seems quiet. But like I said, I can't tell if they released those guys or not. Okay, so that is for the Kurdish people. So if you're reading along with me, this word right here, that was the word that I was saying, surprise the people in a way that's not so good for them. All right. That results in humans no longer breathing and injuries. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is my one commercial. If you'd like to support my FX buddies, get on the sponsor list. Thank you to all of those. I think it's called Super Thanks. It's a Super Thanks, and YouTube highlights your name. So thank you. And then, of course, the other ways, um, I call them gifts, blessings, whatever, that come in. So yeah, so there's that PayPal, Cash App. Lower the small letters. What is that? Lowercase, Tish Wash. Okay. Oh, and big or small, I appreciate it all. And thank you in advance for your generosity. All right. I want to get, okay. Now this, I'm not exactly sure. I know the next level of crypto or digital or whatever. Well, it's not even next level. It's here already. They want to tokenize stuff. I mean, everything. They want to tokenize, digitalize everything. Trees. I mean, probably your dog. If you're not careful, they might try to. I mean, that's how outrageous it is. Resources, everything. They want to try to put markers on everything so they can tokenize it and then you can own a piece of it. How crazy is that? But anyway, so these tokenized assets caught my eye. And remember, this is in Iraq's news. Iraq's news. So if you click this link, it's going to take you to the Iraq article. I don't know, maybe BitGet has a website or maybe one of those crypto sites. But look at this. This is Tesla. Tesla USDT. What and the RWA stands for something. So here, BitGet launches the world's first real asset perpetual index contracts. How do they get RWA out of that? Real world assets, I bet you. I bet you that's what that stands for. That include major real assets. But so they're starting with select real asset products. This is Circle. The, people may not know Circle, but I'm sure you know Tesla and you may know Nvidia. Wow. So yeah, I mean, they have one for Apple too, it looks like. AAPL, that's Apple. Mm. So they're just moving right along in Iraq. The ones who understand and enjoy, they're moving right along with it too. So, yep, look, it'll trade on a 5 by 24-hour schedule, closing on weekends. At least it'll close. Jeez. And stock market holidays. Yeah, so if you want to read about that, this is at the bottom of the blog. All right. Now, look at this. This is creepy. This is the creepy thing. Oh, wait. Before we get into the creepy thing, let me show you something cool. Well, in my opinion. Oh, good. Here it is. Okay. So, Iraq to allow oil firms operating in the Kurdistan region to open foreign accounts, clearing way for exports. And this, I just want to show you. The move follows companies telling Iraqi officials they do not trust Iraqi banks. So they're like, we want to do your oil business, but your banks are a little shady. So let us open an account of our own to put our money in, and we'll come do business with you. Isn't that crazy? And see, that is the image they're trying to get away from, right? They're trying to get away from it, but they keep getting caught doing stuff. So I don't know, but I didn't post this because, it's just, it doesn't have anything to do with the RV. I just thought, wow, they openly are telling them, we want to do business with you, but we don't trust your banks. Okay, and here is this. Okay, I talked about this the other day, but I couldn't find it. So AI data centers threaten to raise technology electricity. Look at that phrase right there. Technology electricity prices in America. So this isn't the same one, because the one that I saw the other day said it changes the water, but they're focusing on us and watching what opening these data centers in regular, well, I mean, they have no choice, right? I was going to say in regular neighborhoods, but we all have regular neighborhoods. So, yeah, and I think I said yesterday, so if you're planning on buying land out in the middle of nowhere and building your dream home, check with the planners, the city planners, that they don't have 10-year plans to put an AI data center out there by you, and then your fresh air, well, it doesn't mess with the air, but can you imagine all the waves that probably emit from that building? And it does raise the electricity, and they are saying it does something to the water. Okay, now, so it's Friday. They closed out. The Google closed out at 1308.73, and Forex closed out at 1283, which is really different. Usually it closes out at 1308, but it closed out at 1283. Okay, this I think is neat. So an Iraqi bracelet created by whatever that is, and oil experts to compete with Rolex. So it's a whole long video, but I can't get, it's, this site doesn't have a YouTube channel and they don't let you download. But look at that. Okay, wait, let me make it big. So look at that. Look how intricate. That is pretty neat, right? I would buy one of those. Then they have another one that's less, let me see. They have one that has, I don't know if it's gold, but it looks gold. And then they have one that's even less intricate. But yeah, see that one? That's the one that's less intricate. So that's a guy and his brothers. and he used to work at the oil factory. I don't know if his job got cut or, whatever. It's always, income is always better when you can have your own business, right? So they went, he taught his two brothers how to do that, make them, and that's what they do now. And they charge a lot, and hey, if people are buying it, but it's made by hand. So you can, when things are made by hand, you can do that. Okay, so I have this. I don't want to play it because the platforms get a little touchy, but I maybe I could do 28 seconds. Oh, it's not going to play anyway, right? No, it's not going to play anyway. Let me see. Is this okay here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's not even the half of it. It can scale almost a straight up and down incline. Yeah, you have to see it. And guess who makes it? Not us. And this isn't even the most advanced one. This is just the one they're letting us see. So, if you want to see this, you could go to the blog and scroll all the way down to the bottom because that's where it is. Or it is on YouTube, but there's lots. They have other ones that are older. This is 2 weeks old. This is the most recent video. And so look how they show, oh, he's just taking a walk and the thing is carrying his bag for him. That is not the intent of this thing. But anyway, yeah, so all right. I'm not gonna drag this out. Let's get off of that. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for that. But we need to know about these things. And I'm sure we're developing something like that, but yeah. All right. So thank you for watching. I'm not sure what the weekend's going to bring, but if there's anything worth reporting on, I will. So I am going to say enjoy your weekend. Relax. Because summer's winding down, right? Some people's kids are already back in school. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up button. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. So accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. What else? Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.